Hey guys, we're working through chess.com's character chess bots through the intermediate level ones. We've done now the 1000s and the 1100s and now moving on to the 1200s. So my next opponent is Maria from Mexico. Maria loves to sacrifice and attack. Don't accept too many of her gifts because there are often strings attached. So this sounds like fun. Okay, let's go with Maria and see what we've got. Okay, she says, "Hola, I hope you're ready for some spicy chess." Okay, well let's go. Now if you're going to be an attacking aggressive player, I'm going to start with a d4. Let's see what happens. Queen's Gambit, eh? I like gambits. No, not Queen's Gambit at all. I'm going to play London and annoy you. Steinitz counter gambit, according to the computer. Alright, well that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to play c3 because now if c takes, and life is not too bad. Alright. Okay, now there's something to be careful of. I could play queen to b3. We could have an exchange of queens, which doesn't bother me at all. If the pawn comes forward, I could always go here as well with a check. Don't see anything really wrong with that right now. So if this is going to be an aggressive bot, let's play that. Let's play that. So I want to counter aggression with solidity and turn my opponent's strengths against her. Okay, so clearly bishop's being attacked. This is weird now because these are the two squares where the king might want to castle to, and she's advanced the pawns in front of both of those squares. So this looks a bit risky to me. So I'm inclined to play like bishop e5, which will invite f6 to block the attack on the rook, or knight to f6. Knight to f6 is even worse. But would I lose a tempo by doing that? I think f6 is just weakening, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, so f6 is played. I can now retreat down to g3. I could even trade off with the knight, but don't think I want to do that at this point. Let's just play back. Okay, so she's captured on d4. This is going to leave me with doubled isolated pawns, but there's nothing I can do about that right now. Wow, now she's going for it. And an attack with the king. Now, if I move my knight to c3, I'm going to get d4. Kicking the knight. No, I'm not kicking the knight because the knight's going to be pinned. You don't want to pin your own pieces. So far, Maria is living up to her reputation. So I'm excited about that. The other thing I've got is knight to d2. Then if bishop takes, king takes, but I'm okay with that. Alright. I'm attracted by the idea of capturing on f6, but I'm also aware that I've not finished development. Could also sack a rook on there, but that leaves quite an open board. No, I'm not going to do that. I think just... See, that capture would bring her knight out to the board. I'm actually better off if she captures and I recapture with a bishop, because currently that rook has nowhere to go. So that pawn cannot capture that. So I'm just going to play e3. This allows me to get my bishop out into the game, maybe with check. I can bring my knight in. Okay, so she's coming after this pawn. And if she takes that pawn, my knight can't capture the knight because it's still pinned. So is there anything I can do? So that means I'm going to need another defender on that knight. See? So let's say I could play like rook to d1. Then if knight takes, I just develop a piece, and I've still got two defenders on there. Another idea is knight to f3 now. No, but then if knight takes, that's a fork, isn't it? forking the bishop and the knight. But knight there, knight takes, then rook to d1. I'm okay with that. Oh, Maria. Okay, that lets me play this now, which defends my pawn on b3. Okay, so king has to recapture, knight can't take on b3, and I'm actually ahead a pawn. So this is check. So she might be coming after my bishop, and if she captures, I have to recapture with the f pawn because, oh no, there's still an h pawn there, that's okay. Okay, so I'll recapture with h. So let's say like king back to e1, takes. With king back to e1, I'm putting my king on the opposite coloured square from that knight, which means that knight cannot move and check me on the next go. It's a good principle to remember. Okay, I think e1 looks alright. Maybe d1 would have been good as well. Okay, so she's decided not to go for this. So I'm going to get rid of my doubled pawn with an exchange on there. Okay, Maria, check you out. Okay, so now bishop to here, there's a threat of move the pawn even with check. Okay, she does play fast though. Fast and loose. Okay, I'll develop my last piece. I have to say, this is the most fun I've had with any of these bots so far. Temptation as well, when you've got a player who's playing so aggressively, do you find that you're tempted to accelerate your game and to speed up and sometimes to rush? And I think actually the right approach practically always in chess is to slow down and take your time. Okay, so right now I think I'm going to play f3. Attack the knight. Let's attack twice. Still attack twice. Okay, so the knight's now attacking my bishop there. So bishop can't go there because of the rook. Can't go there. Could go there to this one. And if bishop takes up, knight takes, and that's actually quite good. This feels a bit passive, and this is very, very bad because it blocks the rook. So two potential moves. Let's think bishop to c2 adds a second defender to the pawn. Now let's play that one. Yeah. He can't take there, she can't take there, and can't go there. So we're going to exchange. My knight is now in a position to check. Oh yeah, nice fork. Okay, get that. No, but it's not really a fork because that pawn is defended by the bishop. So I could go here. Yeah. So the two squares that the knight could check. Oh! Oh, you devil! She's got me. Right, she's a piece ahead. Not good. Okay, I'm going to grab the free pawn. Over checking square again. You see what I'm talking about with rushing? These players, some players make you accelerate and make you rush. If the knight, I was going to say if the knight moves, I could have had a fork there. Let's grab another pawn. So material's technically equal right now. I do have more pawns, but I'm not going to have more pawns for very long at this rate. I can't advance because of the knight, so I have to go back. Go back to here. Again, different coloured square to the knight. Alright. Could be looking at rook there. Two attackers on that pawn, there's nothing I can really do. I might push the pawn. Okay. We are having fun, boys and girls. feel like I need to counter-attack somehow. Attacking that knight. No, I don't wish to exchange. Do I wish to exchange? I'm a pawn down, really. So Maria's got an extra knight. I've got 2 extra pawns, but my pawns are poor. And she's got a rook on this basically her 7th rank, 2nd rank, and that's a good place to have a rook. Now, if I take there, then the king has to move over to g6. Does that do me any favours? I don't know. So there's not much point checking there. But I've got to do something. I either have to move my rook or I have to exchange. Can't move my rook there, so I'd have to move it in the corner. Let's swap it off. It's not ideal. And now I'm going to attack this rook. You might take the pawn. Okay, that's fine. Now I come to here. I've got another checking square with a knight. That's fine. Now you've got 2 pieces under attack. Okay, another check. There, she can't check. That's 4 jumps away. Here again. Okay, I'll throw in a check of my own now. Alright. Pawns under attack. How about this? This is a fork. We're dancing now. Okay. Right, I have an extra pawn. Can this pawn make a run for it? So what's she got? She's got 1, 2. Or should I be centralizing my king? What I want to do is get her single pawn off the board. If I can do that, it's going to be very hard for her to win by checkmate. It might be possible with a king and 2 knights. It's not something that I've practiced. So if I go there, she's got knight there and then the pawn's stuck. So I don't think that pawn can make a run for it. Okay, you've checked me. That's fine. I want to avoid forks. This is all a game of forks now. Okay, I don't want to go. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and now I can hit the pawn. So, now I can't go there. Right, now I can hit the pawn. If pawn advances, I've got that. Okay, let's make a dash for it with that pawn. That blunders the knight, right? So all I have to do now is get this pawn to safety. Take that other pawn. This one's a goner, I don't care. Alright. Maria is a bit rash. Okay. Now when you're facing a knight in the endgame, remember that the biggest risks obviously are forks. So apart from my king, my most important piece right now is this pawn on b3. So if I always try and ensure that my king and my pawn are on different coloured squares, then I know I can't be subject to a fork, because a knight always has to move, so that's from a light coloured square. Every square it can move to on its next turn is dark, right? So that means that if the knight is going to move and fork, then it can only fork if it's on a light colour now. It has to move to a dark colour, which means it can only fork pieces that are on light squares, so on the next turn. So let's move. Barry the B pawn. It's your moment of glory, my dear. Now I don't know what she's doing with this knight because it's far too far away to do anything. Okay, there we go. Sack the knight, I don't care. This is now a 1 game, and Maria has completely thrown it, I have to confess, because she went a piece up, I think, and should have sewn this game up. But no. If you keep your cool against very rash players, then the game is there for the winning. And now queen to b1 is a checkmate. Well, Maria, thank you. That was the best challenge that I've had so far. So my tip for playing Maria: slow down. Right, she will attack. She does know her tactics. But if you keep a cool head, then her attacking style may be turned against her. So good game, good enjoyable game, nice bot. Thanks for the game, Maria, and I'll see you later.